There's a lot of anticipation about what the new James Beard Public Market will mean for downtown Portland's recovery. Slated to open in 2026, the market will be a hub for local food, culture, and community in the heart of downtown Portland. Think of it as our version of Seattle's Pike Place Market, a year-round attraction that draws 20 million visitors a year and generates $200 million in economic impact for Seattle. The location at Southwest 6th and Alder is already secured, the project now more than halfway to its $25 million construction cost. And it continues to get much financial and political support. Jessica Elkan is the James Beard Public Market Executive Director. Elkan has decades of experience in development and public affairs. She's a former Director of Development for New Avenues for Youth and Raphael House. Jessica Elkan, welcome to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Nice to see you, Ken.
What will the new James Beard Market look like? What's going to be in it?
Yes, so the James Beard Market is a long-awaited vision for our community to bring back a public market after a century of not having one. Portland is a public market city. We had our first public market in the 1800s, and the last one shuttered in 1941. Today's public market, named after Oregon's culinary son, James Beard, will be the front door to Oregon's bounty, providing opportunity for 40 small permanent vendors in the market and selling thousands of Oregon products. It will be a 7-day-a-week public market, as you mentioned, very similar to Pike Street Market north of us, really providing economic opportunity and intentional placemaking for our downtown central city.
You just got another $2.7 million from Prosper Portland this week, and you've been getting a lot of support politically. Where are we now in terms of financing and construction timetable?
Very good question. This is a public-private partnership. We know we can do big, visionary, catalytic projects when the public sector and the private sector work together. We are more than halfway to our fundraising goal. We have around another $10 million to raise over the next year, slated to open, like you said, in summer of 2026. So we are well on our way to achieving our goals and are going to be calling on the private sector in the next year to help us fill that gap.
The city of Portland kicked in $1 million in a tight budget year as well. Here's what Mayor Keith Wilson said about the market when we talked to him recently.
So that is going to be right next to Pioneer Courthouse Square, where we have 15 million visitors a year. And when we get the James Beard Market open, it's going to showcase not just Multnomah County, but the other 35 counties and what makes Oregon great, and that's our food and our agriculture and produce.
How will the market help local producers and creatives?
Yeah, so we are a town of makers. We are a culinary capital of the world, and we produce and make and grow so many agricultural products throughout the state. So I see this as a project that brings the rural and urban communities together, highlights our prolific agricultural communities and the makers behind all of this incredible culinary scene that we have here in the city. So there is going to be a ripple effect, not just in downtown Portland, but how we source products from across the state of Oregon. Hermiston is a great example. Hermiston watermelons, being able to sell those in the James Beard Public Market. Like I mentioned, we are the front door to Oregon's bounty, and there's so much opportunity to highlight all that we do in this state.
The legislature approved $10 million in lottery bonds for the project. That's one of the biggest advocates, Representative Shannon Jones Isidore, was leading that effort in Salem. Here's what she said about it.
We all know that downtown Portland has struggled. But if there's one thing that I've learned in my career thus far, it is that recovery is possible. And this is the type of investment, large investment, that we need to make to rebuild our economy and in the heartbeat of our city.
And this is really the key to people's excitement about this public market. So how does the market fit into recovery of the central city of downtown?
Well, I think it's doing big visionary things that show that Portland is ready to move forward. I see the market as the anchor tenant to Portland's renaissance. Since we announced, we have seen numerous leases being signed in downtown Central City. We need to do intentional placemaking to encourage foot traffic. bringing people back downtown and having things to go to. So we know that Pioneer Square is a central part of the city that attracts that kind of foot traffic, but where do people go from there? And this is the type of project that we've seen in places all over the United States. Public markets create economic opportunity, but they also create catalytic downstream investments. The public market in Milwaukee, Wisconsin is a great example of how that market over 20 years ago revitalized the third ward of Milwaukee. And today it's a thriving neighborhood with restaurants and bars and retail. So I see that there's a lot of models nationally of how public markets transform neighborhoods.
We talked earlier about the sale of Big Pink. That, it was in financial trouble. We have a local buyer now, Jeff Swigert, who has bought that. When you heard that, what did you think in terms of being the executive director of the James Beard Public Market and how it fits into downtown recovery?
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic news, and I can't wait for everyone who is leasing space in Big Pink to come over and have lunch, happy hour, and dinner at the market. So I see it as a natural part of how our city rebuilds. And I'm just thrilled with that news and what it means for the downtown and creating more foot traffic and more energy and excitement in our city.
This project has been years in the making. It's named after the late James Beard, as you mentioned, the world-renowned chef who was born and raised in Portland. So how important is his legacy and his name to this project?
Oh, it's so important. A lot of people, when they think of James Beard, they think of New York and the James Beard House, but he is our culinary son, and he's such a big part of our Oregon story. James Beard is, in his writings, he had over 20 cookbooks, but in his books, he talks about the importance of public markets, his travels around the world, and his acknowledgement that Oregon's agriculture is on par with some of the great countries of Europe. And he talks a lot about growing up in Portland, going to the Yamhill Public Market, which I spoke of earlier, that shuttered in 1941, and the influence it had on his life. So being able to have a public market with James Beard's name really differentiates this market and helps us tell that Oregon story.
Let's get back around to when will construction begin? When will we actually see some things happening at that location at Southwest 6th and Alder?
You will see some dumpsters out there next week. We are starting demolition. Construction is slated to start in September. We are moving ambitiously and urgently to get this market open, and we can't wait to see everybody there next year as we open the doors.
Jessica Elkan, Executive Director of the James Beard Public Market. We're looking forward to seeing this project come to fruition. Thanks for being on Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you, Ken.